All right, yeah, this guy is. It's just the sound that this guy makes.
Nice and hot. Probably a little bit too hot.
This guy's insane.
The sound he makes is insane.
That's all wax.
Y'all ready? Here we go.
Oh, come on. Now it's going to buffer a quick.
Oh! That was fucking hot. Yeah!
That guy's a riot.
Fucking all
Pretzel. Fold her a pretzel, just leave her there. Gently, I won't hurt her. We're gonna have to cut this whole thing out.
What's our themed beverage?
It's because we know Drew over here likes Guinness, so we decided to do a car bomb because Brandon wanted to shotgun Guinness. And I said,
I thought that would be so funny.
You see how
if
difficult?
we shotgunned the Guinness.
That's a nitrogen-based beer, dude. You can't do that.
That's why I wanted to do it.
Fucking explode.
That's why
Did you see how hard it was for me to open one hole? Imagine two holes.
Do you guys want to go outside and eat firecrackers?
I've never seen someone do it clearly for that reason, and I thought it would be so funny if we decided, let's just try this out and see what happens.
Okay. Here, we'll put
The Irish are so alcoholic, they've never considered shotgunning a Guinness.
They're classy alcoholics, you know?
Yeah.
How'd you feel? So, cheers to your good luck with your date
Yeah,
tonight.
Drew's got a date tonight.
Good luck to your date, dude.
Oh, fuck, it didn't sync. It didn't sync. Oh, fuck, dude.
Got a couple sticky boys here now.
I'm going to tell that girl that I smell like a podcast, not Guinness.
So yeah, are you excited for your date? Where are you going? What are you doing?
We're going to Lefts. We gotta watch the Brewer game and stuff, dude. That's why you guys told me to save what I was talking about, but
Yeah.
Hinge, dude, Hinge is where it's at, guys.
Why Hinge over Tinder and Bumble? Why?
Okay, Bumble has a lot of bots on it, I think. There's a lot of fake accounts. Like, we could open it up right now and we could go through that and you can see which one. Everyone's like got airbrush pictures and everything. It kind of sucks, I think. But like, here's what they got to do. Like, I think everybody on Hinge, because it was like originally marketed as like for a professionals thing, and that's why I never did it, because I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, it's just, I'm like a dumb guy, so I'm like, oh, these dentists and neurosurgeons.
Is that what Hinge is for?
I thought that's what it started as.
No, I thought it started as like the app you're supposed to delete, the one looking for a relationship.
That's what it seems like they rebranded after the pandemic. I thought when it
Everyone
started,
lost their jobs.
one of the everyone lost their jobs. They're like, well, now this is just for everybody. Everybody that's still living off that stimulus right now.
Are you homeless and looking for love?
It's not for people who make over like six figures anymore. Now it's people that have those $1,500 still in their savings.
Congratulations.
But no, it's like I think that it seems like every girl on there is like they all are like, okay, we're in our 30s and we know why we're on here. Like we all have bad social skills.
It's usually 28 to 34. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had somebody like message me back on there and be like, "Ew, you're 5'7". They're like, "We're settling."
We're okay.
Like it's just
We'll see where this goes.
clearly our 20s didn't work out very well. So
Maybe he's got a fat dick.
let's fuck a fat comedian from Milwaukee. You know, let's just see how that works out.
Maybe I'll get to meet Big J.
You probably won't. He doesn't respond to Instagram messages. I text him every day and say I love you. It's just
Yeah.
it's actually better than Hinge texting Big J.
The responses are 100%.
The responses are less like they're less bad. I don't know.
So this is Drew Flagge. He's a comic. Open for Big J. Open for a bunch of Doug Stanhope, a bunch of other
Metzger.
comics.
Metzger.
Kurt Metzger. That was
on
pretty
Sunday,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Open for Christopher Schmidt one time.
Yeah. Best bit machine in Milwaukee, dude.
Oh, open for the best bit machine. I'm practically a factory worker.
Dude.
Kurt was pretty cool. He was a chill dude.
Do you think he was cool?
He was chill. I mean, there are other people who like he just sat there. He just sat there the whole time.
Fuck.
He would just go out and he'd just smoke a joint, come back in, and
Yeah.
just start probing. I felt like a man yesterday. There was a girl outside, my neighbor, who her tire had popped, and she was like changing it, doing a good job, but she couldn't get the tire off.
Oh, you had a donkey.
So I had to run out to my car, and I was like, "Do you need help with it? Do you need help getting that off?" She's like, "Yeah, if you could."
Brandon ran out there and he's like, "I've been waiting for this moment."
I have.
You're still wearing the shirt you wore yesterday.
I definitely didn't look up a video on how to change a tire before I went out there.
You're like, "Now's my chance, time to act."
Just because I wanted a refresher, so I didn't look like a dumbass.
You know what, Brandon? Here's the thing: you are a doer, not a thinker, and that's what I like about you.
Yeah, we need those. We need those.
You know when they said that we need ditch diggers? You're the guy. You are the dude that hands out shovels.
I'm German, man. That's what we do. We do before we think, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they thought a lot. They thought a lot about that.
They're like, how do we fix the economy? I know.
That's a perfect idea.
Well, here we go. Let's get rid of the people that are in charge of the banks, and then we'll fix the economy. And then they're like, fuck, our infrastructure. And then they're like, wait, we owe America what for losing? And
Yeah, they didn't.
suck it, Angela Merkel.
They did not set themselves up for success with that one. Absolutely not.
Did you bring that girl down here to not eat her pussy?
It's not a true
This is
rumor.
where pussy goes to die. if you bring a girl home and show her your podcast studio, you might as well just zip it
They
up.
usually make the face that Brian Regan's making behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Captain Underpants? Like, fuck.
Jack, wait, have you heard the rumor that Brandon doesn't eat pussy?
No, do you not eat pussy?
I do.
There's no way. Look at this guy.
I do.
You do not. You do not. You're
They
not.
brought it up, and here was my
They
answer.
who? The ones with the pussy.
The ones with the women comic brought it up.
Bisexual
Which
comics.
one?
Bisexual
Brought it
comics.
up.
Do not call them women. They are bisexual until
What does that have to do with it? That's
because
not a
once
gender
they get
identity.
because once they get funny, then they become straight women. Because they can because then they can start fucking dudes.
No, they had brought it up.
Brought
and I simply said, I just don't eat random snits. You know, like if I just meet a girl and I hang out with her, like it's first day. I said one caveat: unless she is fine. If she's the best I've ever done or close to, then I'm taking that risk. Yeah, but
First night you don't go down.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said like
And I don't expect that from her either.
That's fair, and that's
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Because if you go at first time, usually you're not planning on getting like laid. So guess who hadn't showered?
You
You know what I mean?
I think I shower every day, but like there's the thing. There's got to be like at least some semblance of exclusivity here if I'm gonna start doing that. Because I don't want to start licking on what might be some other dude's dick. Like, you know,
Yeah,
That's
exactly
what
what
I'm
minutes before
saying.
they could have gotten
I
this.
have
what I
the
get.
fear of like, you don't know, she could have gone on a day or two ago. It's easy for women to get dates as compared to guys.
Yeah.
She
Women
could be
also
out
don't
there.
shower every day.
They
Like,
don't?
They say it's bad for
They
their skin.
they
to do
wash
it.
their body. They just don't wash their hair.
Okay, that's
Yes.
I'm going to disagree with that because my last girlfriend did not shower every fucking day. But there was the exclusivity thing where it's like we were dating, but like we only fucked after she would shower. Because I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, you're walking around for, you know,
With some stank.
her job was walking around a lot.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna out her on what she did, but like she walked around. So I was like, you got day funk, and like I'm sorry, like there is just
sorry you couldn't deal with the smell of victims on her.
Okay. Here's the thing: is you said you only had sex after she took a shower.
well, no, like the day, like it'd be the day of the
yeah.
shower. It's not like she got out of the shower and I'm like, present yourself. Like
Okay,
I didn't do that. Like,
that's how shit works with me though. So my
Clean yourself for me.
my fiance likes to shower before having sex. I like to shower after.
no, because there's that weird, there's that
See,
weird
I like-
friction. There's the weird, it's wet but it's not wet friction.
Yeah.
David Lewis described it as like petting a stingray. Like it's like why is it dry when it's wet? Like it's.
For me,
Yeah.
I like showering before, but
No,
depending on
I
how
don't like having cum all over.
depending on how it goes.
Wait,
There's a
wait,
50-50
wait, wait,
chance I'll
wait.
shower after as well.
Wait, you don't want to have cum on, like, do you have to lay on your back and then cum on yourself? Is that what you're
No,
saying makes you
I'm
do?
pretty exclusive. I bust in there.
Okay, yeah.
So it's still around the ship. We're gonna have to cut this out.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know about this. Hold on, let's salvage
We're not
it.
eating pussy, but we gotta.
I dated.
No, I'm not outing my fiance just when I bust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you're getting
Yeah.
married, so I mean, I think it's
That's pretty
okay.
known.
yeah,
I'm
but
pretty
she's got some great birth control. It works very well.
Yeah,
pretty sure everyone is-
you do it in her ass, and that's it. Like Catholics, and you respectfully just shoot ropes in her turd.
No, it is that called where you just like it's soaking. You soak. That's what we do.
Oh, dude.
Dude.
Lucky crock-potting?
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Just slow cooking the meat.
You're treating her like she's like chicken tortilla soup, dude. You just like
So
you set that shit on soak and just let it sit all day.
So in all
Maybe that's just
actuality,
nice.
if you went out with a girl who was like absolutely fine, and you got back,
If she was a 10 out of 10?
and she
Actually,
said-
8 out of 10, I'd eat her
and
up.
she goes, you know, with
That's not Luke Scott. That's not what we wanted. And
is Salk, are you doing it?
Yeah, because I'll eventually be able
No.
to maneuver my way into a little bit of up and down
Yeah,
movement.
okay, so no.
Earthquake! You know?
you're gonna fake an allergy. It's like, oh my god, you're 6 cats. I have to start sneezing.
Hurt you!
That's gotta be like a form of stealthing, right? Being like, all we're gonna do is we're gonna soak.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, and then you're like, oh my god, my sciatica's acting up, and you start just getting like a leg twitch, and you start just trying to
Cramp!
But you got to consistently hit one side like you're having a stroke.
There's
But yeah, definitely shower after sex.
I'm on board with both, honestly. If I need to, I will. But
Shower foreplay is a thing, but shower sex is just
shower sex is awful.
Shower sex is
It's really bad.
You have to figure it out for yourself. Everybody has to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's cool when you're like in high school and you're like, all right, let's try this. This is
Yeah.
cool. Like your parents are gone, let's try this.
And you're like,
And then you're just like, fuck
like
this.
it's hard. It's so hard on the ground.
Yeah. Women always have their showers on so hot too, where it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
burning your back or you're drowning in it a little bit.
Yeah.
You're like, why does James Bond like this so much in like 16 of his movies? This is insane.
I had sex in a porta potty once.
Oh my gosh.
Love you, honey.
Wait, we're editing out the part about you busting in her, but not the fact
A
that you
lot of
fucked her
people
with
know.
blue
A lot
water
of
under her?
people. A lot of people know about the porta potty thing because
Like the police?
No, it was at a music festival, and no one caught us. She got like spit at as she left the porta potty, and I had like a tunnel out to the Rose Bowl as I left.
What
The double standards were insane.
music festival?
Yeah.
Country USA.
Oh,
Yeah. That makes
so everybody else there fucks
Yeah,
in porta potty like conditions.
Yeah.
It's just a dick washing station instead of like a washing station.
It's like one of those things you put like a golf ball.
Yeah, I was
in.
gonna say a ball wash. Dude, there's a smell in my car, and I've cleaned like every aspect of my car. I cannot find where the smell is coming from. It smells like a burrito died. I don't know where to look anymore.
Is this why you don't eat pussy?
That's what it smells like. Honestly.
Some girl went for a run and then sat in the backseat of your car.
Just soaked into the seats.
Sorry, I wore really damp yoga pants today. Your Nissan Altima is really nice, Brandon. Are these suede seats?
They are.
She got off it and it looked like a bad gym bench. Like, I was like, hey, did you sweat the number 11? Oh, that's your pussy. Like, that was...
Yummy Miller.
What?
Yummy Miller.
Oh.
Where'd they go?
I'm glad I'm getting all of this out of me before date.
Yeah,
you know?
you get a vet. So what's your opening line with
Yeah, what's
on
your,
Hinge?
How's your day gonna start?
Oh, dude, I straight up just hit him with the stock, like, hey there, how's it going? You know that? Because, dude, like, it's super, I feel like it's weird if you, like, fucking hit them with, like, because they ask you, like, certain things, like, in the profile. They have, like, prompts. And if you're like, I see you really like Star Wars. Well, did you know that Kenobi sucks as a show?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just hit them with that. You're not, like, let me
It was a good
change
show,
your,
first off.
Let me just change your mind about Marvel being good right now, baby. Like, it's,
I will say you will lose any woman's attention the second you start
As-
talking about Marvel.
as a man
Absolutely.
who has read comic books their entire life, Doctor Strange 2.
Don't lead off with that either.
Doctor Strange 2 is the most terrible thing I've ever witnessed.
I second that. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Oh, that was pretty good.
It's
Shut
awful.
up, Jack. It's
pretty good.
bad.
It's
pretty good.
awful.
Shut up, Jack. We can't do this.
That's the series. What's the comic book series that it was about based on?
Well, it was based on a couple things, but like supposed to do the death of magic or something like that. Her problem being like resolved, and she left. She left as a hero. Skipped an entire movie. Like you could tell that they used to care with Marvel, and now it's like it's such a
It's a moneymaker.
It's a money machine. Falcon did it in fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier, where he had to tell Freckle Jesus, what's her name, Carly Morgenthau. Emily Van Camp is hot. Like I'm a fan. I would work for the Power Broker, honestly. When it comes down to what you're talking about, essentially is cultural Marxism. This guy had a 401k, and they couldn't pay Falcon $25 was an hour? Because now I'm getting all serious about comic books. But like even
We've been on a solid tear for 23 minutes.
But they call it. Well, we got to get it out of
I'm
my
going to
system
make this
before
whole...
Get another system for the date.
This is before we get on the Hinge date. I just got to go up there and be like, oh, Kirsten Yelich is good. But like a lot of people going like, we didn't like The Last Jedi. But like, okay, wouldn't you turn evil too? So here's what happened. Like, if you go through the timeline of these goddamn movies here, like, we're gonna have to edit all this out.
No. I literally specifically wrote this down to get you riled up. I had Star Wars.
You had Star Wars written down, and I'm like, you know why Falcon sucks? No, so here's what happened. So it's like, but then all Disney comes out and says is, oh, you're a bigot because you didn't like this shit. And it's like, that's terrible. Like, that's not why people don't like this. Like, people don't, it's like, they spawned this whole thing of film criticism.
I don't think it's just films anymore. I think it's
everything.
It's comedy especially. I mean, comedy, it's like, because you are a certain person, if you don't like it, you're a bigot in a way. And it's like, no, maybe it's just not funny. And I see it shit all the time. And I have a long way to go.
There's also people that don't like it because they think the person saying the joke is a bigot too. It's very...
Yeah, there's a lot of comedy right now where a lot of people seem to think that if you say something on stage, you have to 100% believe it. But
that's not the fucking point of comedy. People don't... I was just watching Dave Chappelle where he talks about, like, feminism and the women's rights, and he says... He talks about how, like, I just think, I don't like how they go about it. And he says, I think you just need a male leader. And he's like, I'll help you, I'll direct you, and all I ask in return is that you suck my dick. And it's like, obviously, it's joke.
Not real.
But it's like taking, like, the talking points. And, like, I was actually just talking to somebody about this today, about, like, how people make offensive jokes. Like, I'm never going to say that you can't joke about something. I'm never going to claim to be good enough to talk about things like, I would never talk about like things like slavery and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And because specifically this person was talking about the open mic last night that I wasn't at and all the fucking people that were bombing. And
it was a really good mic last night.
Yeah, well, not according to what I heard from Anna. It was said
she was on the second one, right? She was at High Dive.
Oh, I don't know. She told me
she was at High Dive.
She reported back what she reported back, and you know what? I respect her opinion. And
it's a smart thing to say.
She's not going to watch this, dude.
No one watches this.
She's not going to make it past the Star Wars part.
Viewership dips right as he does going
Star Wars. Oh yeah, everyone else is like, oh my god. Like if Reagan listened to this, she is like, out. I've heard this. It's just like I've gotten this. She has transcripts of that exact rant. It was no, like she was just saying that like somebody joked about like black people owning slaves. And I was like, well, I mean, that happens in the world. Like Liberia is notorious for that right now. It's like they were the freed slaves, or I think it's Liberia, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Liberia because it comes from the word like liberty. It's like those are the slaves that actually went back to Africa after they got freed. And then they were like, well, this country we have nothing. And then they just enslaved indigenous people. And it's like they learned the wrong lesson from being in America. And it's like, so it's like, it's not like it's an unfounded thing that like people do that, especially in like really poor, impoverished countries and stuff like that. But I'm not good enough to make a joke about something like that. Like, I'm not, like, smart enough to make a joke about something like that. And I just won't do it because I don't want to risk upsetting people because all I want to do is make people laugh.
Same.
I just don't think I have the fucking tact to do it. Like, I could sit down but I don't want to sit down and read about slavery and then be like, because I'm going to make a fun joke about this. Like, I'm like, I would just rather not touch it.
Same.
Like there was like the whole thing about the female comics where like in Milwaukee all the women like where they did like they went up north. I think it was to someone's cabin. I forgot who it was, but like there was one night, it was after the Dino's open mic when Dino's was still open, and someone was talking about how rape is never funny, and I kind of whipped around and I'm like, well, don't say never. And
dude,
I had to explain to them that 3-episode arc of like Law and Order SVU in season 7.
Is that the
rape is funny episode?
The rape is hilarious episode, dude. It's so Jack, you've never heard the episode.
No.
What it is Olivia Benson starts dating a guy who's like a karate teacher, okay? And he's teaching children karate because there's a child molester in the neighborhood. Yeah. And he's teaching them how to fight them off. And spoiler alert, he is actually the guy. But they started arresting pedophiles who were like they were on like a registry because he started framing them and like they started like giving like tips about like these pedophiles in the neighborhood that were molesting these kids. And these guys were like, I'm reformed. I didn't do anything. I spent my time. You know, like all this stuff. He's like, I had to register. He's like, it's embarrassing. These guys are all getting locked up again, but these kids are still getting molested. And he had this whole sob story in the first episode about how his little sister was molested as a kid and she committed suicide, right? And he was like, so that's why I care so much about these kids. And what ends up happening is like in the third episode, it's like the season finale, the third episode of this little arc in like this, whatever, it was like a 24 episode season. Yeah. And he comes into the precinct to go, you know, tell Olivia Benson like, hey, we're going to go out tonight or whatever. And she goes, yeah, whatever. And this little girl was talking about, she was hurt and she just sees him and freezes and she like pees, like she wets her pants like on like the chair, and they like really focus in on like the water or whatever, the pee. The pee, and she fucking,
that's the funny part.
And then it's like oh, like she was molested by this guy.
Yeah.
And like, cause she even says like it was him, and Olivia Benson's like, no, it couldn't be. Stabler ends up going in and like going to the registry or whatever, and they find out that that Eric's sister, his name's Eric. Eric's sister is still alive. She just changed her last name and moved upstate New York because she wanted to get away from him because he was the one that molested her. Yeah. And so the episode kind of comes to a close where he's throwing this little girl onto a dirty mattress and he's undoing his karate gi. And he's getting ready to fuck this kid. And Olivia Benson, like, he doesn't hear the fucking door open up, like the garage door open up on this like weird warehouse or whatever. And she walks in there and she goes, Eric, you need to stop. She's like, I would never hurt a child. My little sister committed suicide because of whatever. And then she's like, Eric, your sister's still alive and we have her right here like it's the fucking Maury show. And she walks in and it's the funniest bit of like overacting I've ever heard. She goes, Eric, when are you gonna stop raping? And I mean, it's not meant to be funny, but like it's really funny. And like, so I told all the women, and they all like. I mean, Louisa didn't believe me that this episode existed. Like, I'm like, no, it's a 3-episode arc. They all go up to I don't know if it was Reagan's cabin or something, but they all went up there, and then they were just like, we're gonna watch this. And they found the Eric episodes of Law and Order SVU. Reagan fucking calls me and just goes, just listen to this. And all the girls were laughing so hard. I'm like, yeah, it's funny. Like, don't tell me rape is never funny, because there is this 1% chance that a guy named Dick Wolf made the greatest rape joke I've ever heard. Like, but it was just like, when are you gonna stop raping? They're like, that couldn't have been that was the first take. And you're like, that's gold. Raping? That's on that. I've never seen an actress on anything else. That's on her reel. That's her. That's her reel. That's her reel right there. That is her acting reel. Like it's, and you get like the
imagine
serious...
sending that to people. Imagine like, oh, we're considering people. Do you want to send us a reel here or something?
Eric,
when are you gonna stop raping? It's like, hired. Get her.
Yeah. Just like, it's like great on Cameo.
It's like one of those things. Like if
that's what she just replaces your name with your friend, Johnny. When are you gonna stop raping, dude? We should see if we could find it and send it to the.
Yeah, I gotta find out what the actress's name is,
dude. That would be fucking.
If she's on Cameo,
funny, dude. And then you send it to all the female comics. Louisa, when are you gonna stop for
their birthdays? Yeah. Vegas, when are you gonna stop? I'm not gonna say this contributed to the end of my last relationship, but I did show my ex Eddie Murphy Raw.
Dude, I couldn't believe.
Listen, I can't. If I had to start going like, where was this going downhill? Eddie Murphy Raw was probably bad. The Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, that was. I mean, coming home every day with Depp Heard in like updates, where I'm like, yo, Depp is winning this shit. Like, you have to walk around your house with your blonde girlfriend, just being like, you bitches are done.
So yeah, you need to get out.
Captain Jack Sparrow says, make dinner, bitch. Like, you can't just be... My man got more rings than George, and he's smacking women around. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. There'd be scars.
There would be scars. But the scars were inside all along. Because he fingered her with them, too.
If you had to marry...
No, I've had to take my rings off and I'd wear rings.
I don't want to do another one of those, dude. I gotta go on a date, dude. I'm gonna have to eat
No,
fucking...
just not do a car bomb. Just drink one if you want.
Oh, I'll just drink it.
that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. If you want to just drink one.
I can't wait to just walk in there and be like, hey!
We'll give you that confidence.
So I'm the man of your dreams, huh?
I want to know each of yours.
I'm just looking at her with one eye closed.
What's the worst first date you've been on? It could be the girl's fault. It could be your fault.
No, it was... So I wouldn't say this is the worst date. This is probably the funniest dating experience because this goes over 2 dates. There was this girl who was like a fucking California 10 who I matched with on Bumble. This was like 10 years ago or whatever. Like it was a while ago. It was when I got out of my relationship with the girl who tried to poison me with crab legs. That's a whole...
That's a whole...
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other can of worms or crab legs. What it was no. So like this girl, like she was way too hot. It was one of those where you're just swiping. You're like, fuck it, I'm not gonna match with this thing. And you're like, this is a fake account. Fucking, I get hit up. It was like it seemed like a message sent by like a real person. We were like chatting, and I'm like, why is this fucking 10 to me, dude? Like, are you missing a leg or something like that? But it's like, nah, you had full body pics. I'm like, she seems real. And she asked if I wanted to go out somewhere. She's like, I like to go out on the east side of Milwaukee. And I'm like, well, how do you feel about like Bel Air? I'm like, that's like a fine,
Fine first
that's
date.
like a fine first date. It's like,
first date. Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's like, it's white people tacos. It's fine or whatever. It's, it's low key or whatever. It's quiet enough that you can talk. This girl shows up and was like super into the fact. No, this could have been 10 years ago. This had to be like less than 8 because this is when I was doing comedy. And I put that in my profile that I was doing comedy and stuff because I've only been doing it 8 years. And so she was asking me a lot about comedy and stuff, about like shows and everything like that. And she was like so into it. And I was like, do you want to do comedy? She goes, no, I don't want to do comedy or anything like that. She's like, I just want to do, she's like, I'm just so interested in this. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, I've only been doing like bar shows and stuff like that. And, I got booked on a couple things. I've gotten paid for a couple shows at this point and stuff. And she was so into it. The tacos get there. We had the tacos and everything. We went across the street to Fink's. We had another drink. And then, we kind of just went our separate ways. But like halfway through dinner, she asked me if I wanted to go on a second date. And I was like, yeah, like this girl was like way too, like she's so, I'm like, what did my friends pay this prostitute to like be like I was like fucking Mike Berg and Chris Schmidt and Gary are sitting outside just laughing their asses off. But I'm like, they're all poor. Like, how would they pay for this high end escort who clearly fucks basketball players? Like, how, like, why is this thing like talking to me? I'm still looking at her like she's not a real person. She was so fucking hot. I'm like, what? And I'm like a
Just
fat
figure in my imagination.
Dude,
You're eating tacos by yourself at Bel Air talking.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where it's like I burned my hand with the lie. Like, it's not like Tyler Durden didn't do it. It was just I made out with myself at Fink's or whatever. No, this girl, she asked me if I wanted to go on another date. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why would I not? This is awesome. And I'm like, what the fuck? Do I have game? Like, do I have... She shows up to the next date and immediately puts down like a manila envelope. And she goes, I was just wondering if you could give my screenplay to your agent.
No way.
I never one time I never one time hinted to having an agent or being represented in any way. I never used the word like manager. I was not passed at clubs or anything like that. I'm like, yeah.
You should have done some cast couching. You're going to actually have to work for this. We got to know you have the talent.
I did worse. I brought it to an open mic and we did a fucking table read.
I wish I was there.
Shit, yeah, dude, this shit, we were sitting at the bar and laughing our asses off at this goddamn thing. Like, we didn't do it at the open mic, but we were doing it at the bar. Like, I passed out like 10, I went to fucking Digicopy. I got 10 copies made of this goddamn thing. I was like, what am I mean, yeah, I'll try to help you in the industry all I can. And she was like, oh, that would be so great. And this was just a fucking Twilight ripoff. It was Vampires Forbidden Love.
No.
The only thing that was missing was fucking Portland. Like, it was like, there was nothing in Washington
Dude,
State.
you should have texted her after and been like, hey, it's passed along. They're
No,
talking about
what I
it.
did is I took one of the copies that I made and I made sure that like it was like same, like, you know, like same paper and everything. It looked like they were good copies. I just marked it up. I told her, yeah, my agent would love to see it. She loves up and so I even went feminist card on this one. I'm like, yeah, I have a female agent and she loves getting female talent and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, because like immediately I'm like, fuck you, lady. Like that's what you want. But no, like my whole thing was like, let's just see how long I can make this bit go for. You know, like we're really just gonna.
Did you have that second date or no?
No, the second date was when she gave me the Manila envelope.
Oh.
No. Because you know she wanted to see if I talked to my agent about it, which I clearly didn't have. So you know I went a week, I messaged her here and there, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's getting around to it. I went through and I just marked this thing up. I made corrections and I put like derivative on some of the things that I like red pen the fuck out of this thing. And I sent it back to her, and just like with like a big like I'm sorry this isn't gonna work kind of thing. Like with like this isn't what we're looking for. There's a lot of vampire stuff right now. Like it was just a lot of that kind of shit. Like, I was putting like derivative and stuff on there and like that. And I wrote this thing up, and then I did send her back the original copy. And I was like, I wrote her a handwritten note, and I just said, look, I was like, I don't have a manager. I was like, I feel like what you did was like really shitty. You should have just been upfront that that's what you needed, and I could have been honest and said I don't have any management. She sent me a message back saying, "You're a fucking faggot. Go to hell." I was just like, well, you know.
So I went on the date with this girl. I got her number, texted her. I said, hey, let's go out. Funny enough, we went to Lefts, Drew.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And we went to Lefts. So we started eating, you know, ordered food and shit like that. Not pussy because I don't do that shit. But,
we all know.
But we're sitting there talking, and I just have this feeling that something weird is up. Something like weird. Her energy was weird, or like I was just asking her questions. At one point, she's like, she says this to me. I had to ask her questions, and she was like, "Are you going to ask anything about me?" Or, and I was like, "This is going great." Which I try to ask people questions, but towards the end, she goes like, "So," and this was it. I was like, I knew something, and she goes like, maybe 10 minutes left in the day. She goes, I just had a question I wanted to know. Like, are you related to Lauren Wine? And I go, yeah, that's my cousin.
And she said, oh, so am I.
No. And she goes.
And then you fucked.
And backstory.
And then you ate her pussy because she's not a stranger.
There was trust and blood. And she goes, you related to Lauren Wine? And the backstory on that is Lauren makes a lot of enemies. So I'll say that. And I go, yeah, it's my cousin. And we butt heads a lot, you know. She goes,
so you're one of the enemies.
Oh, yes. And she goes, oh, well, I just wanted to know because, well, like, so she kind of like took my last boyfriend, and I'm like, that's why we're on this date right now. I was fucking.
I would have been like,
pissed.
well, so there's no risk involved in this one.
Yeah,
like, I'm the safest.
She just wanted.
The closer you get to your enemies, the
she
safer
just
you
wanted.
are.
She just wanted some fucking tea on Lauren, and then she starts asking me questions. Like, look, as much as I don't get along with her, I'm not gonna give you this information, dude. It's my family. Like, I was actually like, you wasted my money and my time for a question you could have asked me over text.
For sure. Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was frustrating. The worst date I ever did was when I went on a date to Subway with a girl in high school. And
that sounds terrible already.
Yeah, and I reached
You had to
out,
go pick her up with your BMX bike, your Haro, you pegged her there.
I reached out, I stretched, and then she poked my stomach, and I just ripped a huge fart on accident.
My worst date is not like that bad of a date, but it was just like kind of freaky the whole time. I matched with this girl on Tinder in college with my roommate and my roommate we found out that my roommate was dating her roommate.
That your roommate
was dating her roommate.
The girl you went on a date with roommate.
No, she matched with me because she recognized him in one of my pictures.
So the girl you went on a date with was dating...
No, the girl I went on a date with is roommate's the girl that matched with me. And the girl that matched with me, matched with me because she saw my friend in there.
Okay.
And so she was like, we should go on a double date. And I go, okay, fine. It's around Halloween, so we go over there, and they want to do Halloween-themed gingerbread houses. And so we start making these Halloween like themed gingerbread houses. I wasn't super into this girl. She's pretty cute though. So I was like, all right, this is gonna be fine. And as we're making like the gingerbread house, like I realize that I'm doing all the work and she's not helping at all. She's like only doing help with her like left hand. And I'm like, what's going on? And she basically, she looks me dead in my fucking face. She goes, I had a stroke and the whole right side of my body doesn't work very well. And so she pulls up her hand and it's like this. And it's stuck like this. And I'm like, holy fuck. And I'm just like, oh, that's crazy. She goes, yeah, high five. And she like high fives me, like trying to play it off, like to be super cool. And I'm like, all right, then we're going to just be friends. We're going to make this gingerbread house and we're going to fuck home. And my buddy like did not
discriminate against.
No, dude, her whole body.
Well, if he had to make a whole gingerbread house, how is she going to make it a gingerbread home? I need an interior decorator if I'm doing all the outside.
You get a high five for that one.
So that my buddy does not realize that I'm super not into this girl at all. So he thinks it's a good time for him and his girl to go and have sex. Well, I'm like stuck with this girl, but half her body does not work.
With a one-handed
girl.
job?
And she goes, so should we go to my room? And I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm going to do this for my friend. So I go down there.
I would have slept on the right side of the bed.
We did not sleep. I went to the room with her. And she starts like taking her clothes off, starts taking my clothes off, and I go, no. And so I'm just like, I'm going to eat her out. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to give her no.
You're like the anti-Brandon.
Yeah, I'm the anti-Brandon. Like, I know what she wants. I'm just going to give her no and get the fuck out of here.
Did only half her body come?
No, just wait, dude. So as I'm like going down on her, she starts grabbing my hand with her crippled hand. All right, and she grabs my hand, and she's like telling me, she was during the date. I should have prefaced this. She was telling me how like well she can deep throat. And I was like, honey, you don't need that from me, okay? You do not. I got a cute dick at best. And she grabs my hand and puts my entire fist in her mouth and is choking herself with my fist. Like it's going down like to here. So she's going like this. Well, I mean, you're out.
So wait, she had a stroke, but she also can unhinge her jaw like a Clinton?
So she's choking on my fist, and I'm just down there like, please be over. Please be over. Eventually I finish, and she goes, all right, do you want me to do you? And I go, no, it's okay. And I pull on my pants, and I walk out, and I sit outside in the car and wait for my buddy to be done with his date for the whole rest of the night. I got out of there at like 10:30, and he got out at like 11:30.
Was she cute?
How?
Oh yeah, she was cute.
How? I mean, Jack, you're not taking into account the effort it took her to swipe right on you. Like she really wanted you to give her. She really wanted you to Mr. Sacco her, dude. She's like, I like this cute redhead boy. I really like it.
She got to use her nose, dude.
She had to waste 2 redos on Tinder.
Spent $4.99 on my swipe.
She had to subscribe to premium to get you back, Jack.